friends, it's Julie, and I thought I'd do something a little bit fun today. My skin's not too bad. I've healed up from the flare-ups that I experienced over the last few videos, but I thought I would take a risk anyway because this seemed kind of a cute thing to do, and see if the cheapest possible makeup I could find would be able to actually cover rosacea, because I've tried some pretty expensive brands. I've tried some mineral makeups and things like that that have excellent reputations and that other people just absolutely swear by. But what about the stuff that you kind of hesitate to even approach? I'm not going to leave this on my skin for a long time. This isn't going to be a test to see whether it causes a flare-up, because I'm kind of assuming that it would if I left it on there. But what I would like to know is if it could actually cover it up. Like, how good is the stuff at the dollar store, for example? And could I potentially, for under $5, ever be able to cover up the rosacea on my face that I struggle so much to be able to cover, even with more expensive brands? So, I did go to the dollar store. Not everything here is from the dollar store, so I got these items here from the dollar store. So these were all $1.25 Canadian, so that's in around $1 American. And then I also, just to kind of switch things up and have some other brands, I also have a few other options. All of these were under $5. So the first three were $1.25. This one was $2.25. This one was, I think, $3.99, and this one was $4.99, and I'll get into what they actually are when I use each one. Don't worry, I will be applying them to my face. Don't worry, I will be doing kind of a fast forward through the application process, so you don't have to sit here for the next half hour watching me put on and take off makeup. In between each phase, I'm going to be using these Yes to Cucumber Soothing Hypoallergenic Facial Wipes. I don't really use these too much anymore because my actual cleanser that I use will take makeup off now, so I try to reduce the number of steps in my skincare. But for now, because I'm sitting here in front of the camera, I'm going to use these. I have previously had luck with these, and they haven't irritated when I've used them before my regular cleansing routine. So this is what I'm going to use. So basically what I'm going to do is show you what my skin looks like, then tell you which product I'm going to be using, apply it, and then show you what it looks like afterward. And we'll see which ones of these actually do a good job. Now, normally I would do things like apply a primer, but I think because I'm going to be taking things off and putting things on and taking things off, I'm just going to go directly with what can the product do all on its own, without a mist of thermal water, without primer, without anything like that. Just what can they do straight out of the package if I'm on the go and I just need to grab something at the dollar store to cover up redness. I don't know when that would happen, but this is just for fun anyway, so I hope this is fun for you. I hope you enjoy it. Have you ever tried dollar store makeup or something crazy cheap like this and actually been successful with it? If you have, please let me know in the comments below, because that would be something I'd be curious to find out. I'm going to get started. The first one I'm going to use, I'm just kind of picking at random, is LA Colors Pressed Powder. It's in the color BPP 320 Nude. So let's see if we can get a shot of that. It's this here. And let's see, opening it up, it looks like that color on the inside. And I will take it out of the package and apply it to my face, and we'll see how this goes. Oh, my face. Yes, let's actually show you what we're dealing with here. So this would be, my skin is a little redder than usual because I've just washed it before doing this video. And this is the other side. So, but I always find that if I wash my face and kind of it does redden up a little bit, it's probably a good time to test out coverage products anyway to see how far they can go in terms of covering redness. It is, today it is a lot more calm than this. This is at its absolute worst. So anyway, let's get started. Actually, this I just realized came with a little fuzzy pad, sort of, it's a little foam thing. I think what I'm going to do is actually, to be true to the product, I do have brushes and things like that ready to try out ones that don't come with anything. But for those that actually come with an applicator, if I'm going to be testing this pretending that, you know, I'm on the go and I have to pick something up just quickly and it's not expensive, then I may as well pretend that I don't have my makeup brushes with me either. So let's just go with the gear that it comes with and pray that this does not cause me a flare-up that's going to last for 3 weeks. Okay, so I have applied it to this side of my face, and all things considered, the redness was covered a little bit. I can definitely see there is coverage on the redness. That said, this stuff is really dry. It's really drying. If my face was oilier, I might like this a little bit more, but it's not. I can feel that it's completely absorbed my moisturizer, and it's done kind of that sandy, dusty desert effect on my skin. One thing I did like, this actually does, oh sorry about that, this does come with a mirror. So basically if you know, I was just grabbing this on the go, it does come with a little thing. This is actually rough and awful. It doesn't apply very well at all. It feels like applying this with a piece of paper. But yeah, so it does come with this. It does come with a mirror though, so at least there is some gear. It does not close very well. So I can see this popping open in a purse. I would probably chuck this into a cup holder in my car as opposed to trying to keep this in my purse. If I did put it in my purse, I'd put it in a pocket where it's not going to hurt something if it opens up. But this would be the coverage. So it's very, very light coverage. You can still see redness, definitely. And it's pretty sandy and dusty, so this is not heavy coverage, and it is a pressed powder, so let's, you know, to be fair, it's normally something that you would put on top of a liquid, or it's just something that you would use for light coverage anyway. There's definitely a difference between the two sides of my face, but I have to say, between this and nothing at all, I would probably go with nothing at all, but that was fun to test, so let's try the next one. Okay, so the next one I'm going to try is from the same brand, it's from the same dollar store. It's LA Colors. This one is the liquid makeup in Creamy Beige BLM 312, and this one's new, and here we have it. And to be fair, Creamy Beige is slightly darker than my normal skin tone would be, but this is the lightest one they had, so I thought I would just go for it. Again, this was $1.25. It says to shake well, remove cap, pump liquid makeup into your fingertips or a sponge, dot liquid makeup on forehead, cheeks, and chin, blend evenly across with downward strokes. I'm going to do this side of my face. This side still has the original powder on it. And I will list all of these products in the video description. And since this did not come with a sponge, I'm using my own little wedgie sponge that I've shown you in lots of other videos. It's a brand new one. I like them because they're disposable, which is terrible because that's bad for the environment, but it is very good for keeping the skin clean. Okay, so I am rather surprised with this. I was expecting it to have better coverage because it's a liquid, and in my experience, and it's a limited experience, I'm no expert in makeup, but in my experience, liquids, foundations have provided better coverage. They've just provided a heavier coverage than powders, but this appeared to do pretty much nothing to my face. It just made it slightly slimier, and also I didn't realize it at the time that I bought it, but it does have a fragrance in it, and it is a pretty strong fragrance. This side of my face is very floral right now, despite the fact that I have no coverage. I'm just a little bit slimy. So not sure if that's showing anything, but there is no coverage at all. The redness is just shining through, and I just look glossy. I look like I've just applied petroleum jelly to that side of my face. Despite the fact that it does have, you can see the color, it's quite opaque in the bottle, and it's quite opaque when you put it on your fingers to apply it. It's quite thick, but it's very creamy, but nothing seems to happen. Yeah, so this would do nothing. I imagine even if I put the powder on top of this, like if I layered it, it would just do the same as the powder on its own, because this, all it does is add fragrance and slime. So that was kind of surprising. I mean, it's not that I had huge hopes for something that I got at the dollar store, but I didn't think that it would do just zero things. So I'm just going to wipe off this first layer, and then we'll move on to the next product. Okay, and as you can probably see, I don't know if it was the light, but now my face is nice and inflamed from having put things on and taken it off again. I will be doing my light therapy immediately after this, so I'm not that worried, and the products are only going to be staying on my face for a few seconds, so I am putting myself at risk of a flare-up, but I do it for you, Rosy Friends. Moving on to the next one. Same brand, no, different brand this time, sorry about that. This is Ariposa High Definition Concealer. So I might just pop a powder on over top of this because it is just a concealer. Actually, no, let's just test this as a concealer all by itself and see how that works, and then we'll make our decisions after that. So this would be what the product looks like. It is Ariposa High Definition Concealer. It's in color number 1. It didn't have any other, it just had 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the store. There are no names of it for it or anything. Not tested on animals, so that's kind of interesting. But let's just break into this and see what we get from it. There are no directions on how to apply it, but I do wish there were directions on how to get into it because this thing is sealed. Okay, so it comes in this little tube. And still no directions on the little tube, but let's just see what we can do by winging it. Okay, so it looks like this when you open it. And it is a cream that looks very similar to just a regular foundation cream. Okay, so actually this one surprised me. I think I put on a little bit too much, to be fair to it. I didn't realize that it was going to have as good, after this last product, which had no coverage at all, I wasn't expecting this to actually cover as much as it did, even though it had a very similar texture. It went on pretty smoothly. It does still have a little bit of a slimy look to it, but it also has a fragrance, which I don't like. The fragrance of this one is definitely better than the LA Colors liquid makeup. That one was extremely, extremely floral. This one has more of a powdery fragrance. I'm not wild about it, but it doesn't, the coverage itself is not too bad. You know, it's toned things down a little bit. I can definitely see a difference between the two sides of my face. And this is just a concealer, so if I were to put foundation and or powder on top of it, I could see this actually doing a little bit. In fact, let's just slap some of this powder back on and see what happens. Okay, so ideally I wouldn't have chosen that powder, but that was the one that was open and it's the one that was available at the same dollar store. But as you can see, it's not too bad, you know, compared to the other side. Like that's what we started with. So all things considered, if you know it was very, very urgent and I needed some sort of thing to cover up the redness right away, in a bind maybe, this will probably cause quite a bad flare-up. So in a bind where I have, you know, maybe a couple of weeks recovery time, or at least, you know, with the light therapy, maybe 3 days. But yeah, so actually, with the concealer was not it wasn't great, obviously, but it wasn't horrible, so, eh. So next we're going to move on to Essence. It's in light beige. It is a compact powder. It's just a pressed powder. It looks like this. Let's see if I can... There we are, that's the color. So, this is the lightest one. Light beige was the lightest one it was available in. It doesn't come with any kind of sponge or anything like that. This is exactly what it came with, so I'm going to use my trusty dollar store brush, which I absolutely love. It's so light and feathery, and we'll see what this does with no primer, no anything to help it out. Okay, definitely a better coverage than the other products. It's not as good as the concealer and powder combined from the dollar store, but the Essence one, Essence I got at Shoppers Drug Mart, it has done some coverage. It's taken things down. I do this, by the way, to block the light. Sometimes when I do this, it changes. I can't tell just by looking in the camera screen, but there's a window right here, and sometimes by blocking the light, it stops it from being a little bit too bright to see what's actually going on. So that's why I keep doing that. Yeah, so the coverage is not bad. That one, it also has a slight fragrance, I believe. See if it's actually listed in the ingredients. Yep, perfume, fragrance, there it is. Okay, so it's very, very mild. I could see after a couple of minutes I wouldn't even notice this. Hopefully it wouldn't irritate my skin. I have actually used this before when I was just running out the door and I couldn't find anything else because I didn't buy mineral makeup or any of the expensive stuff that I have yet. And I had this from a costume that I had worn before, and it didn't irritate too badly. It did cause a lot of dryness, so that was problematic for me because I have dry skin. But yeah, not too bad, just for a powder all on its own. And back to the beginning again. Okay, so now we have two NYC products. These are the last two. This one came with a little spongy thing, so that's what we're going to use. This one is a loose powder. It didn't come with anything, so I will be using a clean brush. This one here, which you've seen in other videos, it's a Quo brush. I don't know what kind of... Oh, it's a blush brush. I never even noticed that before. It's a Quo blush brush. So those I only have those because they're super, super soft, because anything more than that will irritate my skin, which this entire video is going to do anyway. But, yeah, so I'll get started with this one. Oh, sorry about that. This is the NYC New Year Color Pressed Face Powder in Translucent. So it's this one. In this color here. Okay, so this foamy thing is definitely a lot softer than the other foamy thing that I had from the LA colors, so I guess NYC is better than LAC. But yeah, so putting this on, actually I'm pretty impressed with the amount of coverage because I didn't go over it multiple times or anything. Let's just show here. Not bad. Not bad. Sorry, I hope I'm leaving it long enough for my camera to focus. But not bad coverage. I mean, I think you might be able to see the difference between the two sides of my face. This is probably, of all the pressed powders that I've tried here, this is probably the one that did the most coverage. I'm kind of impressed. It has no scent that I could detect. There are no ingredients listed on the package, even though this is how it came. I think it will probably be a little bit drying, but I do think that there is talc in this. For what it is and for the price and stuff, not bad. If I were to grab any of these just off of, you know, when I stick these off to the side for potential costume use or later videos or anything like that, this would be the one that I would grab and chuck into my purse if I were in a bind. So finally, I'm going to go with the NYC pressed powder. It is the loose translucent powder. I think I have used this before. I use it on top of other layers of makeup so that there's definitely a barrier between it and my face. This is the first time I will have ever applied it directly to my face. I had it on the top layer of my cosplay video. I'll put a link to that somewhere. I think it goes here on the screen. But in case you want to check that out, actually giving myself a very, very pale face for a costume. This one, so there we are, NYC, and a moment ago I told you it didn't come with a brush or anything like that. That was a total lie, it does. So it's got a screen there, and it's got the little foam thingy, which I've never used before, and you know, I forgot it was even there, so we'll just go with this. Okay, so that wasn't too bad either. It's funny because this little foam thingy and the little foam thingy that came in the pressed powder are different. This one's a lot rougher on the skin. I don't like it at all. But it did, you know, it did the job. It did the trick for now. But this would be the amount of coverage. Not bad at all. For $4.99, not bad. I normally use this on top because I have, if I do cosplay and costume play and things like that, where I have to make my face very, very, very pale, I'll have already put on my own foundation and then I lighten it with this. But putting it directly onto the skin, it's slightly drying. Again, I think there's probably talc in this. I'm going to look it up. If I can find the ingredients, I'll put them in the description below. If I can't, I'll just link to the product where I find it somewhere online on the official site. None of this is sponsored. None of these are affiliate links that I'm going to be adding. This is just for your information and for your fun. But yeah, so this was actually pretty interesting to me. I hope it was to you too. I got better coverage than I was expecting. I wouldn't leave most of these on my skin for very long, especially some of the fragrance ones. The dollar store ones, the ones I actually purchased at a dollar store, I don't know that I would even do those in an emergency. Other than that, I would still go back to the other. I haven't found anything that would replace mineral makeup or the Shiseido and other brands like that that I've been using that I've tried out in other videos that have really worked. It's interesting what you can get for $1. Again, I don't know how this would do if I left it on my skin for a while, so I hope at least this was fun for you. It was definitely fun for me. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this one, or about the light therapies that I use, and tips and tricks and other products and things like that, I make new videos every Thursday and Sunday, so please subscribe to this channel. And other than that, I will see you next time.